The biggest selling point about this Vivo U20 is performance. It is powered by a Snapdragon 675 SoC and its price is extremely competitive at 10,990 rupees, but has Vivo cut corners that you should know about. Well, let's find out. Now, before we go ahead with the full review of the Vivo U20, be sure to subscribe to the Garage 360 YouTube channel and click that bell icon so that you're the first to know when we have a new video. I found the Vivo U20 to be way too bulky and hefty while using it daily. Basic things such as the power and volume buttons and the rear mounted fingerprint scanner are a bit too difficult to reach. I also didn't like the fact that the Vivo U20 has a micro USB port. At this point, all my devices have a USB Type-C port, and buying a smartphone with a dated port did not make sense. On the bright side, the 6.53-inch display has a Full HD Plus resolution, which is still quite uncommon in this price segment. While the display is not as punchy as the AMOLED panels on some other smartphones such as the Samsung Galaxy M30s, it does get bright enough when outdoors. And I did enjoy watching videos and playing games on this smartphone. However, the speakers aren't really loud and they do sound tinny. Now's a good time to talk about the gaming performance. I played PUBG Mobile on the Vivo U20, which defaulted to the high preset with graphics set to HD and frame rate set to high, and I did not notice any issues at these settings, but the Vivo U20 did get slightly warm after gaming on it for 20 minutes. This could be due to the processor, the Snapdragon 675, which tends to heat up under load even in other smartphones. The Vivo U20 also has some neat software enhancements for gaming. There's an Ultra Game mode, which is filled with cool features. Now, one of these is off-screen autoplay, which lets a game run even with the display switched off. So now you can take breaks without worrying about losing your progress in various games. You can also block notifications and answer calls automatically in hands-free mode to minimize interruptions while gaming. Now, if you don't want to be bothered, you can simply configure the Ultra Game mode to automatically reject calls too. This mode also has a sound localization training center, and this is the first time we have seen such a thing on a smartphone. This feature is for PUBG Mobile and it trains you to recognize sounds from the game in an attempt to improve your performance. If you are a serious gamer, you might find it useful, whereas casual gamers can ignore it. This was one of the few good features of FunTouch OS 9.2 based on Android 9 Pie on the Vivo U20. I just didn't like FunTouch OS overall. It has way too much preloaded bloatware and I kept getting lots of spammy notifications from these apps. Its UI is very different from stock Android and it can get confusing to use. I really hope Vivo fixes this in the future versions of FunTouch OS. With our usage, which consisted of an active WhatsApp account, playing PUBG Mobile, taking a few camera samples and using GPS for navigation, we were left with 45% at the end of 24 hours. In our HD video loop test, the smartphone managed to go on for 14 hours and 59 minutes. It takes half an hour to charge the 5000 mAh battery to 33% and about an hour tops it up to 67%. A full charge takes around 2 hours. Finally, let's look at the cameras on the Vivo U20. There's a triple rear camera setup here with a 16 megapixel primary sensor, an 8 megapixel super wide angle camera and a 2 megapixel macro camera. Photos taken with the Vivo U20 looked good, but it did not have the best details. The wide angle camera does deliver a wider field of view, but we could see distortion at the edges and the sensor failed to capture details. Low light camera performance isn't great either. The Vivo U20 missed out on details and delivered a grainy output. Switching to night mode did result in brighter images, but they weren't significantly better. Close-up shots fared better as the phone managed good detail and a natural depth of field between the subject and the background. Photos taken with the macro camera were good but restricted to 2 megapixels in resolution. For selfies, it has a 16 megapixel camera, and even this is a little disappointing. Selfies shot indoors were below average in quality, and you will notice grain on zooming in. Video recording maxes out at 4K for the primary camera and 1080p for the selfie shooter. We found video stabilization to be adequate when shooting in the day, but focusing speed could have been better. In low light, there was a significant shimmer effect which was also visible in the viewfinder. To sum it up, the Vivo U20 has powerful hardware and good battery life, but its poor software and cameras hold it back. I wish it had a USB Type-C port, no bloatware, and better cameras. And these things do stop me from recommending this phone to everyone. If you're specifically looking for a gaming smartphone on a budget, the Vivo U20 is pretty good. But you can also look at the Realme 5S and Redmi Note 8 as possible alternatives. And that was our review of the Vivo U20. What do you think about this smartphone? Let us know in the comment section down below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.